So I recently got a chance to check out the flagship dashcam from Vueroid. That's the D21 4K Starvis-2 camera, and I think this camera has some really cool, some really interesting features built inside. Starting off with the fact that this gets a 4K resolution backed with the Starvis-2 IMX678, so you're getting the best possible video quality and you're getting the best possible sensor that's available in the market today. And of course, this camera also gets you HDR, and you also get a near 160-degree field of view from the front camera, giving you the widest possible coverage. The rear camera, on the other hand, also shoots a full HD resolution at 30 fps and also gets a previous gen Starvis IMX307 sensor. This dash camera does get a pre-inserted memory card inside, so I got a 64 GB card inside, but this also supports memory cards up to 256 GB. The Vueroid D21 also gets a security LED on both front and the rear camera LED, so you have active information. You can easily view the status of the camera just by looking at the blinking LED even during parking monitoring. Now, since the D21 does not get a display, it does get voice notification, so you're actively updated on the working status of the camera. This camera also does get built-in ADAS, but what's more important is that this camera gets a hardware kit right inside the box. You don't really get a 12-volt charger, so basically means you're getting parking monitoring straight out of the box. And also on top of it, this camera gets a discharge cutoff voltage feature, which means when you can access the Vueroid app settings of the camera, you can set the voltage, you can set the required voltage, after which the dash camera will automatically turn off, thereby saving your car's battery. The highest voltage goes all the way up to 13.3 volts and the lowest voltage goes all the way down to 11 volts. So you have a wide range of voltage choices which you can select according to your requirement. The parking modes within this camera support motion and time-lapse recording. The driving mode, on the other hand, supports a normal mode, a HDR mode and an Ultra LP mode, so you can select any one of the three again based on your choice. So this camera basically gives you a lot of individual choices which you can make in terms of the settings of the camera, which you can use to customize the camera based on your needs. Another interesting feature of this camera is its memory allocation. So this means the camera allocates certain space for certain activities such as a driving priority or a parking priority or an event priority, or you can even set it to driving only. This means that the camera does not need reformatting each and every time. You have a well stored, a well efficient file data storage mechanism built inside, which will enhance the lifespan of the memory card. This camera also gets a 5 GHz Wi-Fi network, which is essential to transfer the larger 4K files quickly and swiftly to your smartphone. Additionally, on top of it, this camera also supports OTA updates via apps. So if any updates are available, it can be easily done via your smartphone. Lastly, this camera is also obviously supported by the Vueroid app, through which you can control all the different settings, and you also get a Vueroid PC viewer through which you can access the video files that have been recorded from the camera, the parking files, the motion detection files, the regular front and the rear camera files, along with getting the G sensor data, the GPS data, the maps location, and so much details built into the PC viewer app. So this camera is currently available on Amazon India at a price of about 34,999 rupees. And just in case if you want to check out the details of this camera, or even if you're interested in grabbing it, the purchase link is given right on below in the description. That being said, in this video, I'm going to take a deep look into the camera, show you its unboxing and all the detailed app settings of this camera, along with giving you a glimpse of its video quality and number plate readability. So go grab a seat and watch the rest of this video to know in detail about the Vueroid D21 4K dual channel dash cam. Let's get started. So here's the box pack of the Vueroid D21 dual channel 4K dash cam. A very smart and a sleek looking box. Let's quickly open it up and show you the contents inside. So first up, you get a quick guide manual for the D21K. Covers pretty much every single aspect about this camera, including the specification, the part names, the FAQ, the installation part, the features and rest of the stuff. So I would recommend that you go through this user manual before you actually start using the dash cam. Next up is the main 4K front camera. You get this D21 4K branding right here on the side, and this is quite a differently designed camera. You get this super large windshield mount right here on top. You get the lens module down below, and the lens module is tiltable close to about 90 degrees. So it should be good enough to adapt to a wide range of windshields. And of course, in case if your car has a vertical windshield, as you can see right now, The lens module is still more or less adaptable, so even in cars with vertical windshields, you can use this dash cam. On one side, you get a DC port for power and another port for the rear camera. At the back, there's no display as such, but you do get a circular button in the middle and 3 horizontal buttons, along with corresponding 3 indicator LEDs, which includes the mic, the video recording, and the Wi-Fi status. You get the Vueroid branding right at the bottom, and on the other side, you get some ventilation holes, along with a memory card slot. So here's the memory card slot, within which you get a pre-inserted memory card of 64 GB. The build quality of the camera is also quite nice, feels good and sturdy and quite hefty in the hand. You can see it almost covers the entire palm of my hand, so I should say that the windshield mount is kind of very uniquely designed. Next up in the box, you get a sticker for the main front camera and I think probably one for the rear camera. You get a microSD card adapter so that you can use this and plug the memory card into the laptop in order to transfer the video files. And here is again a very uniquely designed rear camera, which is 360-degree rotatable. You get this squarish windshield mount design and you get this flat looking camera module right here. This is basically a full HD camera. You also get probably an LED indicator. At the back, you have the model name, that's BZ11614. So this camera shoots a full HD resolution and complements the 4K resolution of the front. On the other side, you get a port for connecting to the power cable. You also get a wiring installation tool. And this is a rear camera cable which basically gets an aux connector. So you have a straight connector at one end and a L-shaped connector at the other end. And lastly in the box, this is the main power cable which gets a DC connector which plugs in into the main front camera. And on the other end, you don't get a 12-volt charger, but rather you get a hardwire kit cable. So you have the ACC, VCC and the grounding cables. So this dashcam is supposed to be hardwired directly into your car, doesn't have any 12-volt port. So this means you directly get a parking monitoring straight out of the box without having to purchase a separate hardwire kit. So the flagship dash cam from Vueroid, the D21 dual channel, the front camera shooting a 4K and a rear camera shooting a full HD resolution. The front one gets a Starvis-2 sensor, the rear camera gets a previous gen Starvis IMX678 sensor. So it'll be interesting to see the kind of performance this camera brings to the table. So let's quickly jump on and take a look at the app settings of this camera and see how it turns out.
Wi-Fi is turning on.
So as you can see, I just turned on the Wi-Fi using the dedicated Wi-Fi button right here on the camera. You also get the Wi-Fi indicator now. So I've currently opened up the app and heading into the Wi-Fi connection part. So as you can see here, the dashcam network has shown up within the app. So let's just click on that. And this will open the Wi-Fi settings of the smartphone. So let's connect to the Vueroid D21 network. So now when you get notification saying the voice pack, safe driving country. So within the list there is no India. You can select others. And GMT plus 530 is correct. So let's click on confirm. So the camera has now successfully connected. Let's head into the dash cam settings and click on the live view. So as you can see here, live view is currently streaming and I think I need to adjust the angle of the lens a bit. So I'll just move the lens down so that the camera gets a proper angle of the front bonnet. So now I think it's perfectly all right. So if I want to take a look at the rear camera, let's just click on the channel 1 here. So you have the channel 2 option, that is the rear camera. Click on confirm. So you now have the rear camera streaming on your smartphone. So you can do a left right reversal, you can take a screenshot. And before we actually head into the settings of the camera, let's just turn back to the channel 1 front camera and head into the ADAS settings. So the ADAS settings need to be calibrated. So the bonnet has to be aligned at the proper angle and the vehicle center has to be taken properly. So you can align this within the app, and once you've done that, you can save the settings like that. So once that's done, it's pretty much calibrated. Now heading back to the main home screen, you can open up the settings of the camera. So within the settings of the camera, the first option is the recording quality. You have low, mid or high. There's no change in resolution. Then you have discharge cutoff voltage. So you can set a cutoff voltage according to your requirement, the lowest being the 11 volts external battery and the highest being 13.3 volts. So you can set any particular voltage which you like, after which the
dash camera will automatically cut off since this is a parking monitoring enabled dash cam. So you have auto parking enabled, then you have parking mode event alert, you can set it to on or off. Then you have parking recording option, either motion detection or time lapse. So currently I may just set it at time lapse. Then you have the parking recording FPS, low, mid or high. I'll just set it at high right now. And then driving record, you have normal record or time lapse, currently set at normal record. Then you have smart low power mode, within which you have time duration of 1 minute for a minimum and 12 hours of maximum. Then you have the driving mode, wherein you can capture normal video, HDR or ultra license plate capture. So within HDR you have HDR timer too, so you can set it to always on or you can set it only at night time. So you can set any particular time after which the HDR activates. So let me just set it at about 1800 and then turn it off at about 08. So we can do that. You also have the ultra license plate capture mode too, so we can check that out later. Then you have the parking mode option. You can select the normal HDR or ultra night vision mode for the parking as well. So this is also a super cool thing. Then you have the rear record in parking. So if you want the rear camera to record while parking monitoring, you can select on, or if you want just the front camera to record, you can select off. Then you have the driving impact sensitivity, parking impact sensitivity, front motion sensitivity and rear motion sensitivity. You also have a geofence. So that's a great thing because most cameras tend to not give you any geolocation as such, but this camera does offer you a geofencing facility. Then you have the voice recording on or off. Then you have it. You can also set it to event only or event plus parking monitoring. Then you have the speaker volume. Then you have the event notifications. You can set it to off or on. Then you have the standard time. Then you have the summer time, which is off for India. Then you have the time setting, following which you have the memory allocation. You can set the memory card to record in driving priority or parking priority or event priority or driving only. So this will allocate certain space on the memory card, so prevent the memory card from getting formatted again and again and enhance its lifetime. Then you have the SD card format option. Then you have the front security LED on or off, rear security LED on or off, speed units, kilometers or miles. Then driving speed record, you can set it to off or on. Then Wi-Fi auto on, you can set it to off or on. Wi-Fi bandwidth preferred to keep at 5 gigahertz for fastest transfer speeds. Then you have the change password. Then you have the firmware upgrade option as well. Then you have the device information and factory settings. So these are the app settings for the Vueroid D21. Quite deep and quite immersive options. You get some really cool options such as the driving priority and memory card allocation and discharge cutoff voltage and all that. So that's really a good thing. If you do head into the file view, it will show you all the recorded files, event, parked, manual, phone and drive mode. So you can access any recorded files as well. Then you have the history option too. So this basically means it is going to show you all the history, including the recording time, event, speed and all that. You can have a detailed information of your driving using this particular option. So that's a great thing, and this was basically the entire overview of the Vueroid D21 4K dual channel dashcam Vueroid app settings. Moving on to the number plate readability, let's just zoom in at the front camera, and this is how good it is. Clear display of how important a 4K resolution is. You get an absolutely crystal clear number plate read during daytime. But what happens during nighttime? Now, since this camera gets Starvis-2, even under the glare of headlights, you get a crystal clear number plate read from the front camera. Moving on to the rear camera, wherein the resolution is now brought down to 1080p, a slightly blurred, a bit jagged, but overall still a readable number plate, more or less in daytime. Moving on to the overall quality, the camera shoots on 84K resolution, 30 fps, and close to 38,000 kbps of bitrate, which is excellent, gets more data, has nearly 300 MB per minute of file size, and as said previously, this gets the Starvis-2 IMX678, so you get the best possible video quality. There is nothing that can match this resolution and the sensor in the market right now, and the Vueroid D21 does not disappoint in terms of its front camera's video quality. Everything is simply well and perfectly balanced. Moving on to the nighttime footage, so this is in ultra LP mode, so you have some level of saturation being lessened a bit, but what the advantage which you get is you're able to read num plates. And in terms of Starvis 2, you can see that it doesn't have that glow in the middle of the screen, all lights
all tail lights and street lights are like having proper exposure, so the nighttime footage becomes flawless due to the Starvis-2, especially the flagship Starvis-2 sensor. And as shown previously, you can see that the number plate is now clearly visible of the car in front. So this is where Starvis-2 effect comes into play, and this is why you should be getting a camera with a Starvis-2 sensor. Moving on to the rear camera footage, excellent at daytime. So this is a 1080p resolution. So you see some loss of sharpness compared to the front 4K, but overall I think the 1080p camera at the rear is doing a good job. Although the resolution could have been a bit higher considering this is a super highly priced camera at 35,000. At least a QHD resolution at the rear would have been much better, but Vueroid is providing a 1080p camera which is doing a decent job during daytime, and you get close to about 140-degree field of view from the rear camera. Now do note that this gets the previous generation Starvis IMX678 sensor, although I would have appreciated if even this was a Starvis-2 sensor. Moving on to the nighttime quality, it does get some level of glare and like overexposed areas of the street lights and headlights, even though the headlights are quite far away. Now this mainly because of the previous gen sensor, and if it only had the latest Starvis sensor, the glare would not have been there. But overall I think, considering the field of view and considering the overall video parameters, it does look decent and usable, but doesn't provide a very ideal footage during night time. So this camera does offer you an interesting set of features and also a flagship level video quality performance. But in terms of pricing, I think Vueroid can bring the price down a bit more, because there are lots of other cameras which offer you more features probably for the lesser price. So except for that, I think the Vueroid D21 4K is an exceptional camera and you can definitely rely on it. That being said, if you do have any doubts or queries regarding this cam, just write that down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if this video has helped you out in one way or the other, go ahead, hit that subscribe button of Gizmobeep right now, smash that like button, and share this video with all your friends who are interested in a Vueroid D21 4K dash cam. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.